are talking this kind of it kind of strayed off my main point though, right? My main point was talking about the intersectionality component of LGBTQ and how that is different in a lot of ways socially, and it's socially observable in a lot of ways from the components of straight couples in society, right? Because there is an aspect of minority there, and as a result of being a minority, you need to connect to other, oftentimes a survivable way.
But that's circular
just
logic. We need to get rid of the minorities because minorities are minorities. Like
that's not what I'm saying. I never said get rid of minorities. I said that there's an intersectional component to it, which means that homosexuality is largely something that you want to be, not homosexuality itself, but the community surrounding homosexuality is something you want to be wary of.
Part of the community.
The idea of it being an abstract minority, you have to be wary of whatever social differences that might foster in that group, right? Because when you're a minority, you tend to be suspicious of the majority. When the majority starts exercising more of its ancient power,
the outcome of this is just we need to be suspicious of minorities because they were minorities when we took power, which means they were already suspicious of us. Like, that's circular logic. If a bunch of Nazis take control of America, no shit the minority groups are going to be fucking nervous. But that's not a moral, like, justification for impugning
No, it's not circular. It's more that, and I agree that many minorities within the LGBTQ community now are very suspicious of the hegemonic structure.
I mean, yeah, right?
Right. So that's an obvious. So now, it's not necessarily whether they'd be nervous at the structure. It's more so they would react, more so how they'd react to the well, I guess how they'd react to the system. They try to jump in. Maybe even there could be possibilities of some kind of desired social revolution to rid of the caste system.
But we don't have to use like the fancy language here. Like, yeah, the reason they're discontented is because they're treated poorly, and the reason they're treated poorly under your system would apparently be because they're discontented. So, like, that is circular logic.
So why should we? It kind of is, because we're covering this point here. Why should, if that is the case, which is true, then why shouldn't? My question to you is, why shouldn't we be?
Oh, just don't oppress them, and they won't have an issue with you. Yeah, if you don't fuck over gay people, they won't be mad at you. It's usually how it works.
And that's a respectful point to hear. Something that I definitely say take into consideration. But
you can. Hey, do you want to know a secret? You can actually do that with every minority group, from blacks to Muslims to trans people.
No problem.
And that actually works on all of them. If you don't fuck with them and you let them live decent lives, they actually usually pretty okay. Like, they don't hate the state that much.
But what's particularly interesting about this point is that when we have what constitutes treating a minority bad, right? Because if you're just, as we see now, just that we under a social liberal system, a weak social liberal system like now that we have, they're not directly oppressing legislation means any minorities, like gay people. Gay people can still be openly gay, and they can still celebrate those proclivities they're interested in. They can still do that. They can do whatever the hell they want under the system, and this applies to all LGBTQ people. But
well, it's cultural, right? I mean, that's what you care about, right? You want to be the master of culture, don't you? You don't want to just run the state as some neutral apparatus. You want to preside over American culture.
That's the issue. You said there is key to the issue with social democracy and social liberalism. It's just state.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It is true. Now, there are some ways in which LGBTQ people are impugned legally. There are some states where you can fire people for being gay or trans people in the military, blah blah. But for the most part,
we just obviously had the whole just obviously legalized gay marriage, basically.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, culturally, there's still a ton of work to do. A lot of people are just grossed out by gay people. So why don't we try to fix that? If you want to take control of the culture of America, if you want to build a stronger fascist America, why not make it a fucking LGBTQ fascism, right? If you have Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
civic nationalist fascism or something like that.
Absolutely, we have.
Right. Within our borders, everything's fucking chill. If you're in the country, you're cool. You're Americans. And if you're out the country, I guess you're like fucked or whatever. But if you're in the country, yeah, homofascism, right?
Definitely, I think that there's a lot LGBT or people that are homosexuals could or on the LGBTQ spectrum could learn from fascism, and there are certainly ideologies that coalesce around that bench of sexuality with fascist rhetoric.
Yeah, I mean, well,
And
always,
Ernst Röhm was an example of sorts. He,
yeah,
he wasn't he was somewhat open actually.
gay
I
people
don't
can
know
do
too
like
much about
whatever. Like gay people can be like any. You could be like a Gestapo, like gay dude. Like as long as you've got some like sweet like dick to suck or whatever, like you're pretty good, you know. I feel like gays could fit in pretty well. So as long as we're not discriminating against any minorities within the borders of America, can I sell you on opening up the borders too, or is that too far?
I think that with this discussion, I haven't I'm trying to open up more about this, and I'm trying to like see where I can go with this discussion, like particularly what kind of compromise that we can land on. And I think that we've gotten close with the association between like fascism,
I
right?
feel since
And civic
fascism is
nationalism.
usually just like all feels, I feel like if given enough time, I can move you over to anarcho-communism if I could just find the right key terms.